everyone, it's Rachel. I just wanted to hop on really quickly and just do a really quick video just saying, you know, what this video is all about. I just got done doing my freezer organization video and I just found my way back to the couch, thank God, because I'm exhausted. I just spent the day meal prepping for next week and doing some freezer meals, and then we won a pig. So how exciting is that? We have a lot of meat that I needed to organize in the freezer. My husband, being the sweetheart that he is, he picked it up yesterday, brought it home, and you know, I told him, just put it anywhere you want to and I will go back and organize it the way that I want in the freezer. But I was just so glad that he's so big and strong that he was able to get this whole half a pig home in our freezer all by himself in no time. Sorry about that. So I apologize for the way I look in this video, but it is Sunday and when I'm home, I pretty much look homeless. I mean, I spent all week in a business casual type of office setting, and so when I'm home, I just want to be comfy. So that means t-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever. Sorry about that. I'm probably really messing up my mic, but anyway, I just wanted to hop on, say hi, and let you know that we won a pig. I'm just so excited about that. So that's what this video is all about. My day off mission was to organize my freezer, and so in order to do that I needed a couple of baskets, and of course my Dollar Tree did not have any organization baskets. Now what is up with that? It's January. Isn't that when they usually have all of their organizational different color type things? I don't know, but I did find lots of Valentine's decor. And although I don't decorate my home very much for Valentine's Day, I did think that some of this would look cute at my office, so I picked up a few things to decorate there. I also needed a small bag of potting soil, and I knew that this would be about the right time that Dollar Tree would start stocking that type of stuff, so I grabbed a bag of potting soil and a pot, and I was just getting a couple things around for some of my house plants. And while I know that is a little off topic and I was here on a mission for organizational stuff, you know how it goes at Dollar Tree, I did see these little pieces of wallpaper samples that I thought were really cool, because I was laying in bed thinking about how to organize my pantry drawers, which will probably be coming soon, and thinking placemats or something like that. Although when I thought about it, the $1.25 for each square, I don't know. I mean, way cheaper than some other options. And since I was also thinking that I need to eat more from home and my lunches at work, I did get a little bit sidetracked in the container aisle, and I know these are a bad investment for me because I usually forget them in my car or at work or end up having to throw them away, and the ones that I have are just fine, and I have a manageable amount of containers to take food back and forth with, and I don't really need to add more. I do much better when I have just a few items to manage. And I don't know if I actually needed one of these, but I have been putting all of my spices into jars, and I really like the copper top on that one. I have been also wanting some new white bowls for my China hutch, but I decided not today. And then I just wanted to check this little soup bowl out, although I didn't need it, so I put it back on the shelf. Here are some of the items that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and yes, I already had most of these items in my pantry, but I didn't want my stock to go down, so I'm just kind of replacing them. And part of a pantry challenge for me is just buying a couple things here and there to keep my pantry well stocked. I decided to only pick up 2 of the blue baskets because they are kind of flimsy, and although they're only $1.25, I didn't want to waste a lot of money on stuff that I wasn't actually happy with or wouldn't use as much. These will have to do for now. For the first freezer meal, I am making my husband's favorite shepherd's pie. And I'm doing a big batch of ground beef because I'm also making goulash for dinner that night. I'm just seasoning that up with my house seasoning. And I'm going to chop up an onion and a couple of bell peppers. My plan is to have the shepherd's pie be a Tuesday night meal because I will not be home and I'm not a huge fan of shepherd's pie. I'm getting some water boiling so that I can make some instant mashed potatoes just to make this meal prep a little easier on myself. I looked through my pantry and I had a can of corn and a can of green beans and I had some peas in the refrigerator. So those are going into the shepherd's pie. I never make shepherd's pie the same way it seems. I just always kind of use what's on hand. And to me, that's what shepherd's pie and goulash and other dishes like that are all about. Just kind of using stuff that you have and making a meal out of it. So we are doing a cream of mushroom soup in the shepherd's pie because, again, we're using what is in my pantry, and this will make a good filling. Typically, Bill would rather have brown gravy or something like that, but we didn't have any on hand. And I am just using a can of cream of chicken and a can of mushroom because the two flavors, I feel like they go well together and kind of make it a little less overpowering either way. Like, I don't like too much cream of mushroom or cream of chicken, but sometimes just mixing them together can kind of give it that mesh of flavors that is needed in a dish. And typically the cheese goes on top of the mashed potato layer, but I'm adding some into the middle as well. And then I'm just going to start scooping my cooked and drained ground beef into this pan as well. Now you can mix this all up in a different bowl if you want to, but I never do, and it always turns out fine. I just mix it all up in the pan that I'm going to bake it in, and it saves me from having to wash another bowl. We don't have a dishwasher, so it just is another way that I try to cut a corner and save myself some work. Now, once I have the meat that I want into the shepherd's pie, I'm just going to mix it all up real good, and then I'll come back with those instant mashed potatoes and layer those on top. Now, yes, homemade mashed potatoes would be better, and this is a good meal to make if you have leftover mashed potatoes, but since I didn't, and I'm trying to keep this a simple and easy freezer meal prep, I just didn't see where peeling potatoes and mashing them would make it easy at all. So I just used some help from some instant mashed potatoes. These are the 4 cheese flavor, and I thought that they would be good on top of the shepherd's pie. And then I will just sprinkle some more cheese right on top of those potatoes. All I have to do after this is just package it up and put it in the freezer. I had another package of ground beef cooking on the other burner because it just would not fit into the same pan as the other hamburger, so I'm seasoning it up with some taco meat to be cooking while I'm working on these meatballs. That is for a different meal, but to get these meatballs going, I'm using some ground beef and some stuffing mix. And so here you see me taking some away because after looking at it, I thought that is just way too much bread in this. So after grabbing a couple handfuls of that stuffing back out of the pan, I just added some onions to this pan, and I'm going to crack a couple eggs into it as well, and then just start mixing it. I do add some milk, just a couple splashes to soften up the breadcrumbs. And for these meatballs, I thought they would be really delicious with some Parmesan cheese, so we're going to sprinkle some of that in there as well. And again, I am just going to be mixing and shaping these meatballs right into the pan that I plan to freeze them and cook them in. And there's many other ways to make meatballs or any recipe created ever, but this is just how I am doing it, and it works for me. And although I prefer to use seasoned breadcrumbs in my homemade meatballs, this is what I had on hand, and this is a pantry challenge, and I'm using what is in my pantry. These meatballs will cook in a pasta sauce, and I will be adding seasonings to that, and they will soak up all of that pasta sauce and have all that good flavor cooked through. So with that stuffing mix and the seasonings in that, the onion and the Parmesan cheese, I did not bother to add any more seasoning to these. Next, I just started forming these meatballs, and this was the size that I chose. There's no rhyme or reason. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, but this was just what I decided on at the time. Then I'm just going to come back and pour my pasta sauce right over the top, and I am using the Hunt's brand, and this is just because when I do bake these meatballs, I will probably add some more like crushed tomatoes and other seasonings and spices at the time. And there will be a little bit of the meat drippings that will cook into this sauce as well. There won't be much because that stuffing will actually soak up a lot of that. But these meatballs will be very flavorful in the end. The next freezer meal is a cheesy ham and broccoli hash brown casserole. And to get started, I am just going to mix my 3 cans of soup together. I'm using cream of mushroom, cheddar cheese, and cream of chicken soup. So I'm just adding each can into my pan again, and I'm just going to get them all mixed until they are smooth, and then I'll start adding the other ingredients. This one is super simple and easy and comes together really quickly. So all I'm going to be doing for this one is using some of the frozen Southern style hash browns, which I had in my freezer already. I'm going to add some sharp cheddar cheese to this and make it super cheesy. Some broccoli, because broccoli and cheese just go so well together, don't they? And then I had a bag of ham in my freezer from Christmas that I needed to use up. I've already used it in another meal, and this will be the last one, I promise. And so this is a good way to use up those leftovers and also just kind of clean out your freezer. Did I mention that I wanted this to be cheesy? So yeah, there goes that huge handful of cheese, and I'm going to mix that in and then just simply mix in my other frozen foods and then just mix it up and then put some foil on it and put it in the freezer. And because I'm not sure how the soups are going to be as far as salt goes, I'm not doing any seasoning at this point in this construction of this freezer meal. This ham is a little on the salty and sweet side. So also that cheese soup and the sharp cheese, I just figured everybody can season when they make their plate or whatever. I will probably add some butter to this when it goes into the oven, but other than that, this is all I'm doing for this freezer meal. And again, more cheese. So, like I said, I love it when I can prep ingredients to do double duty for more than one meal. But here I am just finishing up this pot of goulash, and this is on my What's for Dinner video. So if you would like to see that, it was uploaded on Sunday, and I will link it in the description box. Whenever I'm working on something like freezer meals or a freezer organization or a lot of cleaning or anything like that, I like to make sure that I have an easy one-pot meal going for that day's dinner. And so that is what I'm doing here, is just having a pot of goulash ready for everyone whenever they decide that they're hungry. And everybody was kind of off doing their own thing on this day, which made it really good for me because I had lots of time to kind of tinker around in my kitchen without too many interruptions. Finishing up the freezer meals, I am just writing what they are on top of the foil. I do not need to write the directions or how to cook them or anything like that because it will only be myself or Bill that are cooking these, and we communicate constantly either by phone or just talking to each other, so that would be a waste of my time to write it all out. And so you can do your freezer meals for the month or the week or, whatever you want to do. I also have the ingredients for my taco pizza that is on our menu plan already cooked up and bagged up. Just my way of keeping these ingredients safe. You never know when somebody's going to walk off with your cheese or your tortillas. So this meal is prepped and all of my ingredients are chopped up and ready to go. All I'm going to have to do is build our pizzas and cut up that tomato. I could have done that, but it was an afterthought. So I just popped it in the bag. These 4 meals will help me out so much in the upcoming week. And I know that I will be glad I took the extra time to make them. So this is how my husband put everything in the freezer when he brought it home. And then he moved everything that I had kind of stored in these baskets into, well, wherever. And then out in the refrigerator freezer. So I'm going to try to get some of this reorganized with some baskets that I have. And you can't see it right now, but under here somewhere, there's a little bit of organization going on. I have some baskets in there, and I have a few more that I have around the house that I'm gathering up so that I can get all of this kind of organized so that we can find things when we're coming in here looking for meat and whatever. So that's what we're doing tonight. Using those blue baskets, I'm just stacking up these sausage packages. We got so many packages of sausage, it's crazy, but it is one of our favorite meats, so it will be used, and we are not complaining whatsoever. I just moved some of my vegetables that were from the garden and just kind of that overflow type of stuff into this wire basket that came with our freezer. It's really not a very sturdy basket, so I didn't want to put anything like super heavy in it. And next I'm just checking out what is actually in the freezer from this pig. My husband brought it home and put it away, so I wasn't even sure what we actually had. So it looks like some stuff that I'm not real familiar with, like hocks and neck bones, some hams. So this was a little bit like Christmas for me. Just going through it, finding out what we have, and then figuring out where to put it. I have a basket here that I can just kind of reach in and pull it out if need to. It's got handles on it on each side here, and so if I needed to get that out of there, I could lift it right out. And so what I've done is I put those smoked hocks in here and the neck bones, since I know that those are probably not going to be what we grab for first. So that will be on the bottom. And then over in this back corner, or the front corner here, I'm just putting those hams in there. And it's a little hard to tell how many we have. Seems like a lot. I'm not complaining about that though. I think I have one maybe over here somewhere. I have things kind of stacked up on the side here just so that I can find everything. So, yep, I knew there was another giant ham over here. This is a picnic ham, so that's going to go down here in Ham Nation. And then I'm going to put these pork steaks aside for now. And hopefully my basket doesn't fall off like it's going to. Hang on. Well, that was fun. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just gathering up all the bacon packages that are just kind of thrown in there. And I'm going to put them in this blue basket that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, just so that they're all together. Anyway, I'm going to get that all stocked up together. Alright, I've got all that bacon in one basket so that it'll be easier to find. I'm not sure if that's where it's going to stay, but that's where it is for now. Alright, so next I put the basket with all of the sausage in it on top of that basket. I don't know if you can see. Oh, and there's a sausage under there, but he's okay. He can hang out there. So anyway, I just stack those on top of each other, and I can pick this right up out of here and get down to the basket underneath if I need to. Just have these hams kind of hanging out here. This is a spiral ham. I picked it up on Christmas, or for Christmas. I got two when they went on sale, and we made one and then froze the other and just haven't gotten around to eating it yet. But we have many, many hams now, and that makes me happy. And over here I just have a couple of my ice packs. These are some of the really big ice packs that came in my Misfit Markets order, and I like to just keep those for when we're going to the beach or whatever. And so next I'm just going to I have this packet of pork steaks. I'm going to just start putting that kind of stuff in. And here's a pack of chicken that I didn't even know I had, so I'm glad I kind of came rummaging through here. And I have all of our bacons under here, and I decided to just leave that there. It seems to be working fine. I have some veggies from our garden. These obviously are not from the garden, but the rest of this stuff was, and so it's just hanging out there in that basket. And a couple of frozen meals. I do have some more stuff like this out in my kitchen freezer, but these were in here, so I just put them up there. I decided to bring the pot to my ice cream maker out here and keep it in the big freezer just to make room in my little freezer for some freezer meals that I prepped. And then I have some partial bags of Canadian bacon and pepperoni that I'm just going to stash in here somewhere. There we go. And now in this bag we have some venison. So I've got some venison hamburger. And we're just going to find, actually I might just leave it in the bag since I'm out of baskets, but we've got hamburger, 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 and steak, and steak. So those were given to us by our son, and so we're very thankful for that as well. I'm just going to leave that in the bag and set that down in here as well. That way we have that accessible. And then, like I said, I have a huge pack of, what is this? Pork steak. So we're just going to lay that in here on the side on top of these hams. There's some pork steak down there. Another pack of pork steak that I had already bought from the store. Bought-in. Is that a word? I don't know. But anyway, bought it at the store. and it was hanging out in our freezer. So we also have more pork steak. We are set on pork steaks for a while, and spare ribs. So there we go. That's my freezer, and I must say this was a very good purchase. We just got this freezer not too long ago, and we had nothing to put in it, but the plan was always to look into a half a pig or half a cow. And so we won this half a pig. My husband won it in a raffle. So now we have meat in our freezer, and I'm so happy about that. And that is it for my freezer organization. All I had to do was get my freezer meals put into my refrigerator freezer, and I'm using a rack in between just to give them support. And so yeah, definitely is not Pinterest worthy or even YouTube worthy, but it doesn't matter. It only has to be good enough for you. And I felt like I needed to do this organization so that I could find our food, and it would make planning meals easier. I'm so happy to have these freezer meals made ahead, even though I have 3. I think that is a good start for our family. And if you can only do 3 meals, or even just 1 make-ahead meal, you're still getting ahead of the game. And that's good enough. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.